Thank you. Thank you as well, Ms. Garman. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention or take the opportunity to mention, I know we're here to talk about Career Tech today, and today is about Career Tech, but I really want to mention that we have a lot of great things going on at Gadsden City High School. And I hope that you noticed, and I know that you did, our orchestra, our choral group, fine arts programs, JRTC is a Career Tech program. We just have a lot of great things going on at Gadsden City and something to really be proud of. It also takes work from leadership and visionaries, and I'd like to mention them quickly, starting at the top with Dr. Miller, Dr. Asbury, Mr. Blackwell, at the district level, and the vision that they provide for us and the direction that we need to go at Gadsden City High School with all programs, as well as here, Mr. Brent Morgan, if you would please stand, and Miss Charlotte Worthy in the back. He is the assistant principal over Career Tech, and she is the department chair over Career Tech, and they do an outstanding job, as do all of our teachers. Okay, our teachers do a great job of letting our kids know the importance of the education and providing those skills that when they graduate from Gadsden City will enable them to join the workforce if that's what they choose to do. We also have students doing great things. We have a former student here who will be filling in, sharing, excuse me, his experiences. And we also have another special student here that I'd like to introduce at this time. She is also the president of the newly established National Technical Honor Society. Please help me welcome Miss Madeline Waldrop.
Good afternoon. My name is Madeline Waldrop, and I am president of National Technical Honor Society. Here at Gadsden City, we have more than 12 different career technical programs available to every student. Ranging from web design to cosmetology, each program allows students to prepare for their future career, as well as expose them to different methods of learning. As of next semester, I will have taken 3 health science programs to help further my education for my future profession in the medical field. The Health Science Academy has allowed me to learn basic vitals, become certified to teach basic life support, and even watch a live birth. The Career Tech programs at Gadsden City are also flexible enough to incorporate all types of students. Being a full-time AP student, band member, and SGA officer consumes most of my schedule, yet the Career Tech program has allowed me to also take multiple health internship classes. The Career Tech programs at Gadsden City have been pivotal to my education and have allowed me to be better prepared for my future. It is statistically proven that career and technical education improves students' achievement in high school, college, and career. 81% of high school dropouts say real-world opportunities, such as Career Tech, would have kept them in school. Due to Gadsden City's career technical programs and the National Technical Honor Society, many students are given preparation for their workforce and are guaranteed a successful future. Thank you, Gadsden City, for allowing me the opportunity to be a part of Career Tech programs, and most importantly, thank you all for being such great supporters of career technical education.
Very nice, Maddie. Thank you. Again, welcome. We're glad that you're here. We want you to enjoy your day. Thank you so much for taking time to be here. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our superintendent, Dr. Miller.
I'll try to be brief. It's difficult to be brief when you're talking about our school system and our students and our teachers and faculty. We think we have a great thing going on. And just sort of getting it out of the way, listen, all of you who are industry-related, business-related, we welcome you here, yes, but we want you to continue to collaborate with us and tell us what we need to do to help you. You know, we've talked about it for years, and there's a lot of action going on. I attribute it to Dr. Asbury a lot and Keith Blackwell. Mr. Blackwell, Dr. Asbury's been up here. Mr. Blackwell, you stand so we can see who you are, so you don't miss him at all with his, well, he's pretty noticeable there. I won't say anything else. But I know you know him because he's been reaching out. Dr. Asbury's been on the job for a long time. But it's critical. And again, we've had this chasm, this gap between us at times, but now we're willing to do what we need to do to embrace our businesses, you know, our job and work opportunities. Again, with Gadsden State, Mr. Tim Green. Tim, raise your hand over there. Appreciate him being here. with our city and our community partners, Mayor Frankie Davis, will y'all please stand? We thank you for what you do and our support of our school system. Y'all just wave your hand, and when Mayor finishes eating, if he needs to say something, we'll let him say something in a minute. He's eating right now. But y'all know this is critical. These partnerships that we develop, again, Mr. Wayne Rowe with our quality of life and things that we do in our city, they're critical to all the success we have, not only in Gadsden City, but in Etowah County. And again, you're an integral part of that. We beg you to show us and tell us and continue to unite with us, to instruct us and join with us in developing our kids to be career ready, college ready, Gadsden State, etc. That's our goal. Because all of us fail if our students aren't ready to go into the workforce, and yeah, they need additional training. I mean, I'm not saying they just step right out from high school, but through your programs and things that you offer, as well as Gadsden State and other career tech opportunities, we want them to be ready when they leave Gadsden City High School. Again, an example, I know we're talking about career tech, but as Mr. Colgrove alluded to, this choir and the orchestra beforehand, we have an academy of fine arts that is in unison with our career academy here and career tech kind of programs at Gadsden City High School. We would not be able to do that without the support, again, of the city of Gadsden, the funding, along with some local funding that we get. It comes through the city of Gadsden. Those opportunities that other school systems, Etowah County, et cetera, the fine arts that are so unique and developing kids to be college and career ready. There are a lot of opportunities out there. Those are afforded to us, again, and we probably don't give as much credit as we should to the funding that the city of Gadsden gives us. So we're certainly appreciated. We appreciate the opportunities that we afford to our students through all of you, our again, junior college, career college opportunities that we have through you as the employers, as well as the city of Gadsden. A couple others of our staff that I want to recognize, obviously, Mr. Hector Baez is here. Would you please? He's a member of our staff, and he's, again, another vital part of what we're doing in Gadsden City Schools. And I'm not sure we're going to recognize our teachers, Dr. Asbury may, in just a few minutes. But again, thank y'all for coming. Thank you for being supporters of what we need to do. Let us know what we need to do to improve our program and provide our opportunities for our kids to be better college and career ready students, okay? Ms. Heather New, President of the Chamber, will ask her to come and say a few words at this time. Again, another integral partner of ours who assists us in providing these opportunities and marrying us with you and our business individuals. So thank you, Heather, for all you do for us.
Well, I asked Dr. Asbury how long I had, and he said I needed to be brief, so I'm going to try. But those of you that know me know that when I talk about something that I'm passionate about, it's kind of hard to be brief. I want to tell you that when I moved back here in 2007, after living away for about 8 years, I was a single mom, and I had to decide where I wanted to raise my child. I chose the city of Gadsden because of Gadsden City High School. In 2007, the school was brand new, it was beautiful, it was diverse, and diversity was what I was looking for. It was diverse in programming, it was diverse in fine arts, it was diverse in sports, it was diverse in people. And diversity is what makes us excellent. When we use the wide angle lens, we see the big picture. We embrace ourselves for our differences and our likenesses. And today is also about diversity, because it can't just be our educators that make the good things happen in our community. It takes business and industry, it takes government, it takes all of us looking with that big angle lens, embracing our differences, celebrating our diversity, and pulling together to create what is going to be the most excellent that we could possibly produce. So I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank you for your investment in our children. My husband and I have a beautiful blended family. 2 of our children have already graduated from Gadsden City High, and we have one in 11th grade now. Our 11th grader has told us for years he wants to be an architect. He wants to be an architect and he wants to go to Auburn. Well, our 11th grader, he is a beautiful child, but doesn't necessarily have the work ethic and the hardcore academic classes that our first 2 did. This year, he enrolled in AutoCAD at Gadsden State in the dual enrollment opportunity that was provided for him for free through the ACE Institute, which is wonderful. And he's about halfway through that class now, and he has decided civil engineering is his direction. Now let me tell you, it's going to be a whole lot easier for us to take out those loans and commit him to a four-year college when he's got 2 years already under his belt, and he has that real life experience. He's had that hands-on opportunity to know this is what I want to do, mainly because we know when he finishes that program, he'll have a job that pays well enough that he'll be able to pay those loans back himself, and we won't have to. So again, it's wonderful that we're coming together. It's wonderful that we're growing these programs, and I'm so excited to chair the Career Tech Division for another year. This will be my third year, and I want to applaud Dr. Miller, Dr. Asbury, Keith Blackwell. You have done amazing things with Career Tech. It is hard to believe it has only been, we're entering our 12th year as a combined school, and we have made incredible strides. I think when you visit the Career Tech program today, if it's the first time you've seen it, you're going to be blown away. And if you've seen it before, you're going to enjoy seeing the even more changes that have occurred since the last time you saw it. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Dr. Asbury. He's got the stats and the numbers and all the wonderful things that you've been looking for. But again, thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Heather. And again, I too want to thank all of you for being here today. We appreciate it very much, especially our business partners. We thank you. Also, folks from the Alabama Workforce Council Region 2, another good supporter of ours. We appreciate them being here and that support. Lisa Morales and Worlds of Work has been a great thing for our students. Just want to mention a few things by the numbers, as Heather alluded to. First of all, our enrollment this year is up, another 59 students as far as class enrollment is concerned. Credentialing was up this past year by 7.5%, and we're not talking about we're talking about industry credentials, ones that are recognized by industry. We're talking about OSHA, NCCER, Adobe, ServSafe, ETA, ASE, those kinds of credentials that our students are earning. So they're ones that have meaning to you, our business partners, when an applicant comes to see you and they bring out that credential that they've earned while they were here in high school. So that's increasing as well. Dual enrollment's another area. This has been mentioned. Gadsden State is a great partner of ours in this area. We have 50 ACE scholarship students this year taking 94 classes. Those are free classes, folks. They're not having to pay for those. That's through an appropriation from the state legislature. They're paying that tuition for those students when they're in those career tech related fields, taking dual enrollment courses at Gadsden State. So that's an increase from last year as well. We only had 26 last year, which was good, taking 56 classes. And there may be some more because we've got another partnership coming up with Apple that I'll mention in just a minute in Gadsden State. Additionally, we have 59 non-scholarship students that are taking another 77 classes. So a lot of students getting dual enrollment through Gadsden State and Gadsden City High School. Programs that are continuing this year that just started recently are Health Science Academy, which is back right over this way. We have continued implementation of simulated workplace components that we're putting into place in a lot of our programs. Also continue to recruit non-trad students. Okay, it's a tough battle, but we are continuing with that effort and seeing some progress in some of those areas too, and getting our young ladies to do HVAC and auto service and getting some of our fellows to do cosmetology and those kinds of things. So we're continuing to work on that this year. A couple of new things for this year that I want to mention. First of all, Education and Training Academy is in its first year this year, and they're housed right over here, so you can go by and see them and hear a little bit about what they're doing. Part of our strategic plan for the school system was to grow our own teachers, and this is one step in helping to do that. So it's in its first year this year. Also, our pre-engineering program, Mr. Blackwell's been instrumental in helping get that going, so Mr. Garman, and they're out in the back, and you'll have a chance to go out there and visit those programs in just a little bit too. And that program was based on what you folks told us, what business said that you needed, and that's where that program came from. So we appreciate your input and your partnership and your guidance. Gadsden State dual enrollment is a big part of that program. In that pre-engineering. They competed in Best Robotics for the first time in many years, and came in 6th place, which was a very respectable first time. So we're very proud of them. Yeah, give them a hand. That's good. That's good stuff. There were over 30 teams at the regional that they competed at, and so we're proud of them for doing that well first time out. We're proud of our National Technical Honor Society. As has been mentioned, this is our first year with that program. We appreciate the faculty sponsors for that. We inducted 68 students into that program for the inaugural induction ceremony a few weeks ago. And we're proud of those kids and the teachers that are sponsoring them. And we're excited about that and what that means for our students as well. I mentioned earlier an Apple program is coming up for second semester. It's a coding academy kind of program. It's a partnership with Gadsden State Community College, and we'll be starting that up in second semester. Mr. Black was out beating the bushes for students to make sure we can get enough in there for second semester. But that's a new program that we're starting out as well, and another partnership with Gadsden State. Worlds of Work with our regional workforce folks, the regional workforce, that'll be in March 13th and 14th. Last year we got to take all of our 8th graders to Worlds of Work. You say, well, what's Worlds of Work? It's a hands-on career fair, very hands-on, and it's great. We want the 8th graders, they all went over and got to put their hands on things and run robots and do all kinds of things in a hands-on way that is meaningful to them, and hopefully that'll give them a little more career focus as they move on here to the high school. We'll be doing that again this year, March 13th and 14th. At this time, I am privileged to introduce our keynote speaker, Josh Laney. Josh has been with the State Department since January 15, and he works a lot with workforce development, with credentialing. He's been a big part of that program for us. And Josh, he started out at Phoenix City, did a lot of work there, career tech director there, and he's with the State Department of Education and a good help and a good support for us here at Gadsden City. Josh, come and bring greetings and information from the State Department to us today. Thank you.
Thank you. So Dr. Asbury said I had about an hour. If y'all are hour and a half? Okay. So I just want to, a lot of the things that are the most important stuff you've already heard. So that's going to save you some time, and I'm going to not repeat a lot of that. But I was a science teacher when I was a teacher, and I have to kind of define the problem and then lay it out systematically, like what are we going to do about those issues. So I want to start with, let's agree on a common goal, and that goal is economic development. If you ask your county or city economic developer what is economic development, they're going to tell you that that's either growing or expanding, retaining or recruiting industry into your area. And so that's the kind of technical definition, that we're going to get new or expand existing industry in our area. But then we want to look at it in the larger sense of economic development. What does it mean for our citizens and particularly our students, the people in our sphere? We're going to be able to advance the lives of the students and the people, the teachers, the members of this community. That's the kind of economic development we're after. So if that's the ultimate goal, and we're trying to raise the economic status of this entire area, then we have to figure out how to get there. One of the key factors in getting there is workforce development. Right now in Alabama, the single universal thing that is limiting economic development in Alabama is workforce development. We have the climate, we have the infrastructure, the rail and the roads and the rivers and all of that. We have a good tax structure. We have everything that makes Alabama inviting for industry to locate here. The thing that we are short on is the same thing that the rest of the world is short on, and it's workforce. So if we want to get to that economic development, we've got to establish a workforce development plan. It's time to change periods. Let's go to whatever next class is. After the workforce development plan, if we want to get to that workforce development plan, well, how do we get there? The foundation of all of that is your educational system. Just like you heard, people choose to locate to a specific area, whether that's individuals who are looking to move in, or whether that's companies that are looking to move in, or whole industries that are looking to move. They're moving in based on the educational system. Now, when the State Economic Development Partnership of Alabama gets ready to try to recruit a company or sell a particular piece of land in an area, the first thing that they have to go and show that potential buyer or potential industry is about the education system, because the employers get it. That you guys get it. You employers get it. That's the only reason you're here. if you're going to have that workforce pipeline and you're going to get from workforce development to economic development, you've got to have a solid educational system. So just that's the overarching goal that we're trying to accomplish. So what's in our way to getting to that? I see it in three kind of pots, three big areas that are in our way to getting to that economic development. The first one is just the pipeline volume, just the number of people getting into these different career fields and the ability to replace workers that are leaving those career fields, especially in the skilled and technical trade areas. My in-depth research on Google tells me that 10,000 baby boomers a day are turning 65 and will continue to do that for the next 14, 15 years. That's a lot of people who are ready to go to the house. I looked up for your county, you've got 31% of the people who are still in the workforce in your county who are over 55. So what's that telling us? Those people who are over 55, especially if they've been in a high demand, high skill, high wage career for this whole time, they're ready to go to the house. They don't have to keep working. So we've got a pipeline problem because right now our unemployment in your county, the numbers, I got the little map sent to me today and it was 3.6% was your unemployment rate. That's great, unless you're looking for people to hire. There's not just a huge pool of people that are looking to work that are out there and ready and capable, ready to go to work. 3.6% means that pretty much everybody who's looking for a job has a job. That puts you as employers in a difficult position. It's a seller's market. It is the opportunity is there for these students who are getting trained. They get to pick where they want to go to work. And some of you have probably experienced what a lot of your industry partners around the state have experienced. You've found the person, you finally got that position filled, you've trained them up, and then 6 months later, that's okay, I'm used to it. They get a raise of 25 cents right down the road somewhere and they move from your place to somebody else. And then maybe you give them a nickel and they come back. Any of y'all experience that? You're trading the same existing trained workforce instead of adding people to it. So there's a pipeline problem and we've got to address that. One way to address that is through changing mindsets, and we've got to change the mindsets of our students. We've got to change the mindsets of the students at an earlier age so that when they get ready to go choose careers, they don't all think, and there's nothing wrong with going to university, but they don't all think that the answer is, I just go to university and get a 4-year degree and I'm good to go. I have 3 nieces on my wife's side. Every one of them is the most beautiful, smartest young lady in the entire state, except for these ladies back here. They are absolutely spinning their wheels. The first one went to school. She picked an appropriately expensive private college in the mountains in Tennessee and went off up there and spent $100,000 of grandmama's money to get a degree in English. And that's great, cool. My wife is an English teacher. You're going to be an English teacher? No. You're going to go into journalism? No. What are you going to do? I don't know. I just really love the English language. Cool. You got a 4-year degree in English, and she sits next to a young lady in an insurance office who has a high school diploma, and they do the exact same job now for the exact same money. The middle one got a degree in some kind of art thing, and she now works at a restaurant waiting tables. The youngest one came home, and I said, please, it's time to declare a major. This is our last shot, and it's time to declare a major. And I said, so have you chosen a major? And she says, yeah, I think I'm going to study anthropology. All right, anthropology. And my 9-year-old says, is that like Indiana Jones? Well, if it was, it'd be cooler, but no, it's not even Indiana Jones. That's archaeology, different. So these are perfectly capable, very intelligent children with excellent educations, but they didn't make wise choices about the things they went to study because nobody ever taught them about that. We've got to start at an earlier age, exposing, like through our Worlds of Work and our Career Expos and our Regional Workforce Council partnerships, exposing the students at an earlier age to the possibilities and the careers that exist in this area. Because I live on a farm that our family has owned since right after the Civil War. I plan to die on that farm, and I hope that my kids will stay around on that farm. I'm not trying to get them trained in something they have to move to the other end of the country to do. I want to get them trained in things they can do in Alabama, and not just generally in Alabama, but specifically close to home. Somebody's got to take care of mama. So we've got to expose the students. We've got to do a better job working on that pipeline situation. The second issue is the technical skills gap. All right, so there are two types of skills gaps, but the first one is the technical skills gap. You have heard today examples of how the technical skills gap is being addressed in Gadsden City. You as employers can continue to help us improve on that attainment. The biggest thing we need to do is hear from you about what are the technical skills that you need. We've got our credentialing program. We're spending this year $1.2 million, I think, in grants. They went out yesterday to the superintendents to pay for the cost of the credentials. So these healthcare students back here, if they want to go get certified as, y'all are doing basic life BLS, basic life saving instructors. So they're going to be instructor level certifications that they get in high school. Those are not cheap. They are very expensive certifications to get. So if we want to have those certifications and we were going to invest that kind of money into those things, we need to know from our industry partners that those are the things you're looking for. And even more importantly, if we're sending you kids or graduates with certifications that you don't care about, tell us that too. Or if we're not sending you students with a particular thing that you need, tell us that too. It never fails. I get at least two or three a month from a teacher who says, I found this new certification that goes along with this program that I'm teaching, and it looks really cool, and I'd like to get it added to our state list. Nope, not interested. That's not how it works. If you want to get something added to the state list, you've got to find the employer who wants to hire the person who holds that credential, and they bring it to you, and then jointly y'all can bring an application, and we'll consider it. So that is my request to you as employers as far as the technical skills gap goes. Let us know what it is that we're missing, or let us know that we need to do more of it or less of it, or whatever the case may be. The third part of it is the employability skills gap. This one really is the largest one. If I go and if I just randomly picked any employer in the room and came to your place and said, what is it that you need us to have when that kid walks in the door, what do they need to be able to do or know so that they're ready for you to hire them? Generally speaking, it goes in this order. I need them to show up to work on time, show up every day, pass a drug test, get along with other people, and put up their cell phone. And then I'll teach them how to do what I need them to do. Employers, is that pretty close? Pretty close. And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about, if I'm at Redstone talking to the NASA folks, or if I'm at the tire shop talking to them. It doesn't matter. Those employability skills are foundational and universal, and that's something that we have really in the past few years only come to recognize in education, that we've got to focus on getting those employability skills trained. So there are a few ways that we're working on doing that. You've heard about the simulated workplace. I won't go into great detail on that, but in the simulated workplace, we take these programs that you see back here, and instead of walking into your healthcare class or your business class, you walk into a business setting. And we try to make that simulated workplace be as much like your real company or your real workplace as possible. Now, we can go a long way doing that, and we can teach them things like clocking in and out. We can teach them about rules and procedures. Instead of getting a student handbook, they get a policy manual. All kinds of stuff like that where we can simulate the workplace. We can only simulate it to a point. The next step beyond simulated workplace is getting that real-world experience. Getting students into your facilities, getting them in internships, paid, unpaid, I don't care, they'd probably rather be paid, but unpaid is fine too. Getting them into the real world, sitting beside your real people so that they can know this is what it's like to work on this job. And maybe they find out, I hate this. When my dad was a public educator for 30 plus years, and he told me and my brother, boys, you can do anything you want to do in life, just for the love of God, don't go into public education. So both of us went right on into public education. I took a little detour first, and I was like, well, I like science and I like people, but Dad says don't be a science teacher, so maybe I'll be a dentist. Because that's sort of like being a doctor, and I can make a lot of money doing that, but I'm not going to have to worry about anybody dying on me, generally, in the dentist chair. So I was 1/4, that's how old I am, not semester, quarter away from graduating from Auburn with a degree in mammalian physiology and zoology so that I could go on to dental school, and I had never set foot in a dentist office besides as a patient. And I decided it'd be a good idea for me to go maybe just like check it out. And on my own, I called the dentist and I said, can I come and shadow you for a couple of weeks, just in between classes? Sure, come on over. It took me all of one day to figure out, nope, this is not for me. That's gross. No, no thank you, not doing it. Now, I was a perfectly fine anatomy teacher, and I don't mind cutting stuff up, but did other people's mouths? No, sorry, couldn't do it. I could have saved myself a lot of time and money if I'd have had experience before I got to that point that let me know this is not for me. Or I could have found another pathway related to that if I'd have had that opportunity up front. In healthcare, if I go and I find out when I see blood, I'm going to get woozy, then that doesn't mean I've got to get out of healthcare. It just means that maybe I need to go find another path in healthcare. EKG technicians don't see a lot of blood, still make a lot of money, still go into healthcare, right? So working on those employability skills, working on that career awareness, those are all things that you as employers can help us do. Apprenticeships is new in Alabama. We're having a lot of meetings about those around the state. If you're an employer and you're looking to get people into your pipeline and get them formally trained in a process, it's like a co-op job on steroids. It's an even more rigorous and federally recognized version, and it's not nearly as difficult as it used to be to get a registered apprenticeship set up. Is that me? Somebody left the phone. He's trying me. He's throwing every distraction in my direction today. The bell's going to ring again. So all of that is to say, we can pretty clearly recognize what the three issues are that we need to work on. We got to get more people into the pipeline. We got to get them into the right parts of the pipeline. If we're going to do that, we got to start working on it earlier. We got to work on our technical skills attainment and being able to prove that we actually hold those skills. It's one thing for me to say I came through the program. It's another thing for me to say I came through the program and passed this industry level certification. Those certifications that we're getting, we didn't make those up. Those are industry certifications. And then finally, the employability skills. So if you want to help with any one thing, you can pick any one of those areas or you can do all three. The employability skills is huge for us. If you have any questions about how to do any of that, I'm sure your career tech folks here can tell you, oh, here's where you can plug in. Just reach out to them. If you want to know how you can plug in the regional level, attend employers. If you're not going to your regional workforce council meetings, you're missing the boat. Those are where you have the greatest opportunity to have direct input at the regional level that gets carried back to Montgomery to drive your interests in policy. Lisa Morales is right there and will gladly sign you up and tell you when the next meeting is if you haven't attended one of those. I think I'm out of time, and so I'm going to go ahead and sit down, but if you have any questions, want to discuss any of this further, I'll stick around. Be sure and tour if you haven't seen these facilities. We've got great facilities here, and you definitely need to take a look at them. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. At the tables, there's a couple of forms for some of you business industry folks. If you'd like to leave some information for us or way you'd like to get involved or help out, please fill one of those out and you can give it to me or to Heather New. Either one, we'd be glad to take those. The most important thing that you're here for today is to tour the facilities and talk to some of the students, and that's what we're going to do next. The programs that are set up here at the back, these are our programs that are housed up in the main building. And we moved them back here and asked them to set up a display, discussion area, and some of their students are here with them. Instructors, students are here to talk with you about their programs and what they do. In addition to these that are here, our Career Tech building is directly behind me, and that's where we have our pre-engineering robotics kind of program, our HVAC, electricity, automotive service, cosmetology. Those are all housed back behind me. To get to it, you just go out this door right here, follow the walkway, and it'll take you right around to the door. Just go through, and they're expecting you down there as well. And so we encourage you, as we dismiss here in just a minute, to please take the time. The main reason you're here is to look at these programs, talk with these folks, with the students. We're very proud of our students and our instructors. They do a great job, and they're great ambassadors for us and for career technical education. We want you to meet them and talk with them. So here and also out the back. Dr. Miller, anything you want to add here as we close up?
Yeah, Mayor doesn't want to go. I'm asking him, he has words about
Before I was a politician, I come from the real world. I was running a jackhammer at the steel plant in a furnace that had closed down about 30 minutes before I got in there. And then I used to unload box cars at Goodyear Warehouse when I was commuting to Jacksonville. And when we got in office 12 years ago, the school had just finished, didn't have a career tech building. Money was tight for them and us, and we built the career tech building because we know how important Frankie Davis, who works for me, is a big part of that too. He was a pusher on it, and it's so important. The doctor called the plumber out. The plumber's doing the job for the doctor, and when he got through, he gave the doctor the bill, and the doctor said, "My goodness, that's more than I make." He said, "Yes, sir, I know it. That's why I quit practicing medicine and start plumbing." And that's a good indication of, we hire a lot of career tech kids, I think around 20 or so in the summer, and they have work ethic. Heating and cooling, electrical, some of those, they show up, they work, they do a good job. We'll hire another 15 or 20 just to give them a little spending money, and the majority of them will work 1 or 2 days. They don't come back and get their check. And the work ethic is what's very important. And some people think, well, I don't want to be a career tech. There's a lot of good jobs. There's a lot of good employers here today too. And I've been in their plants. It's not like Gulf State Steel used to be. It's clean. Most of them's air conditioned. It's not dangerous. Just like you had said, you got to show up for work and be off drugs. But I don't know what we can do. I speak to parents sometimes, and I say, if you have a child 18 or older that's not in school and not working, they need to get a real dose of the real world and put them to work. But there's so many opportunities. We've got partnerships with Gadsden State, Tim Green, Dr. Lavender, and Teresa Ray. We've done a lot of things, hire career tech recruiters. A lot of different programs that's been going on, and we're glad because we're pushing. We need this. There's 400 to 600 jobs open in Etowah County, $10 to $20 an hour, some with good benefits. You can't get people to work, and we need a workforce because you just think if all those people went to work next week, how much more money education would have, the city would have, they would have in their pocket to spend. It would be great. But thank you.
Just quickly, that reminded me of a little story here. Y'all got time for just a quick story? Hey, it takes all kinds to prepare, and new students, it's probably to them. Now, I started out, I carried Gadsden Times, by the way. Donna, if you want to put that in that article you're going to write. I started out as a paper boy with the Gadsden Times. And I've worked in a chicken processing plant. I worked out in Wyoming in a fast food industry plant. I made some of the first, I think it's pretty impressive here, the chocolate warmers for the chocolate fudge in McDonald's and the fryers for not Captain D's, but Long John Silver. And then I came back and I worked at a textile plant before I finished my schooling at Jacksonville. Of course, all those things prepared me to want to go ahead and finish my degree and do some other things. But it is valuable, to be able to have a lot of experiences, and all of us have those types of stories to get where we are today. So, it takes us all working together in those areas. And again, I thank you, from the bottom of my heart as a professional and as an individual for being here and sharing with us. We ask you to continue to do so as we close, and we're about to take our tour, and I ask you to go back and look at these presentations in the back. I want to mention Rainbow Catering, the fact they provide our desserts, Lola and Runs provide our meal. And then Mr. Tony Reddick came in. He is a former career tech guy that is now our Director of Student Services, and so he knows what we're talking about also. But again, at this time, I think Dave's going to tell them about how we're going to tour and all.